In this video, let's explore grid control in Power App's model driven app. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to write a simple JavaScript code in a Power Apps model driven app to perform operations on grid, or what we call it as a subgrid. Now, we can perform operations on subgrid based on some grid context. Example would be showing the view based on set state for control in a form. Now, we can also extract the grid URL, get the fetch XML code for the grid, get the entity name on which the grid is based upon, get the entity relationship between the main form and the grid, and we can also select view for a grid dynamically. So example, like I have one main form, say example, this is say company name. Okay, so this is company name. Now, in this company name, I have a subgrid listed over here. So let's assume this is like a subgrid, and this subgrid is showing the contractor of that company. Now, if I select company one, I will see maybe five contractors. If I select company two, I will select three contractors. So that means there is a relationship between these two particular table. That's what I meant by entity relationship. This will show some view, this will show some fields, right? So that means I can select which view to show depending on which company I choose or which field I select. That's selecting view for a grid dynamically. This view is showing contractor records. That means this is the entity, so I can get the entity name. This view is showing some content. That content has a backend code called as a fetch XML code, so I can get the fetch XML code. And in order to navigate to this particular subgrid, I have a grid URL. So I'm going to show you all this example in this particular video. All right, so let's jump into the demo. So first thing, what I'm going to do is I will be opening Visual Studio Code and writing some piece of code over here. Now, in order to write a code, first I need to have a web resource. So I have this web resource over here. I've already created a JS web resource. Now here in the JS web resource, I will just remove whatever things were there over here. I will just type in / code, save it. And any code change which I make, I will have to publish that particular piece of code. This particular code has to be hooked with a model driven app. So I'll just publish this code and I'll show you model driven app as well. So here I have a model driven app. Now in the model driven app, uh, I can write an event. I can write an event on load. I have this event handler. I have this grid. So just to give an example, like for what it is all about. So I have this model driven app over here, which is showing the account list. So account means, say, let's assume this is a company. Now the company has two active contractors. So A datum has two active contractors. If I go into other organizations, AdventureWorks will have some sort of a working contractors, like three contractors. If I go back and if I go into say Able Anna, and Able Anna does not have any contractor. So this is the relationship. So account has some contractor. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the URL of this. I'm going to get the fetch XML code of it. And also I'll be able to select some sort of a view over here as well. So this is a view. So I can select active contractors. I can select other view if it exists. And I'll be getting the entity name of this. So why this is important? Because when you're operating something on your main form, and if you want to operate something on the grid form, you should have the complete control over your grid, right? So for that, I'm gonna just use maybe console.log and display the content. Now, from a table perspective, I have a table of contractors. So as you see over here, I have a table of account and I have a table of contractor. Now these both two tables are linked. How they are linked? If I go into relationship, I will be able to see the relationship between the account and the contractor. So I can go ahead and see all the relationship between account and other table. Now you will see this relationship, the account and the contractor. Now this what holds that bond between one to many. So one account can have multiple contractors. And also, like there are different views for this particular grid. So as you see over here, this is one of the view which is enabled. So default view is active contractors, then there's an inactive contractors, and you can have multiple views. So I can pick and choose which view I want. So here selected views is active contractors. I can also show inactive contractors as well. All right, so let's start writing a simple piece of code. So first thing, I'm gonna write the code in VS Code. So function grid. So let me call this as grid context because we're gonna take the context of the grid, right? And I will pass execution context. From here, I will be writing the form context. So where form context equal to execution context dot get form context. And I need to get the grid value. So I'll just say where grid control equal to form context dot get control and the name of the grid, which I'll just mark it as XXX for time being. We're gonna fetch that value soon. And I need to write some value in console.log or message box. In my case, I'll just write it in console.log. So first thing, I'm gonna get the grid URL. So this is the first thing which I'm gonna do. So I have already got the grid control. So grid control and the method that is available is grid get URL. Then I will write another console.log, and this time I will get the XML. So I'll just say grid XML colon plus grid control dot get fetch XML. So I'm gonna get the fetch XML of that grid. Now with fetch XML, you will be able to take that fetch XML, put it in other system or any other logic, and then try to execute that code as well. Now I'm just showing you multiple options. I'm not giving you any specific case study or so, but then this will be helpful when you start building your custom code application. Entity name, again grid control has a method called as get entity name. And one more method, the final one, to get the relationship. So I will just say grid relationship. Grid control dot get relationship. So we are trying to get the grid control dot get URL, the URL of the grid, get the fetch XML of the grid, get the entity name on which the grid is based upon, and get the relationship between the main form and uh, the control. Now this is the relationship which we are gonna write down, but there is something called as a view as well. So we can just type and say where view selector. So I can also extract which view does this particular grid currently showing us. So grid control dot get view selector, and I will just say console dot log view colon view selector. Now I need to get the control name. So this control name, the subgrid control name. So if you go over here, select this outside component, then select the inside component. And here you will see the grid name, subgrid underscore contractor. So I'm going to just write this over here, replace this value, and this is my code. So the function name is grid context, right? So I'll just copy this, go over here, go to JS, paste it, save it, publish it. The name of the function, as I mentioned to you, it is grid context. So what we want is when this entire form is loaded, I want that console.log value to be written. So this form, click on event, on load, event handler, select the function. This is the library. This is the function pass execution context as the first parameter. Click on save and publish. And once this form is published, we should be able to run the code. So going into the model driven app, just do a hard refresh, control F5 and see whether it is published or not. It is taking a while to publish. So we'll wait for some time. So before we go into the actual result, first you need to enable the developer tools, so F12, and then here you will see the developer tools. Make sure that you have a proper filtering of info, verbose, warnings or errors, whatever you're displaying. I'm just displaying console.log, so info should be sufficient. I go inside, see one of the record. Now if anything comes up over here, then your code has successfully run. If not, you may have to go back and then again come to this particular record, because now nothing has come. Let me go back again. And now here you will see the result. So let's evaluate the result. The first thing what we have written is grid URL grid XML. So this is the grid URL. So I get the grid URL, and maybe I will just copy this grid URL, and maybe I'll just open in a new tab, and this will give you the complete view of the contractor list. So this will give you all the contractors, but remember here it is giving the filtered view, right? So Maria and Sarah belongs to a datum. However, the view is a complete view. It is not a filtered view. So that you need to remember. Second thing, we have grid XML. So this is the complete XML of that particular grid. So it is showing you the attribute name as contractor ID, and then the entity is contractor, and there is a relationship. So this is a relationship, right? So you can see gcop underscore status, link entity name is account, gcop company, and there is a condition that it should only show the account where value is this. So that means this is getting the filtration right from here. Then the other piece of code which we wrote is the entity name and the grid relationship. So entity name, we all know this is contractor table. Relationship, it has given us just an object. So that means we can still explore further on that. It is an object, and then you need to explore further on that. Similarly, if you see in view selector, you get view selector equal to grid control dot get view selector. So that means again it is an object. So if you want to know further about view selector, I'm going to cover in a separate video, whereby what I'm going to do is, like, if you select a specific field, then you should be able to change the view of the subgrid. So we are going to operate on that object. But for this video, this is sufficient. I just wanted to show you how you can extract the grid URL, how you can extract the grid XML, get the entity name of the grid value, get the grid relationship, and also the current view in which the grid is getting rendered. So that's it, folks. This is how basically you can perform some grid or subgrid operation in Power Apps model driven app using JS. Thanks for watching.